Hey, how's it going, guys? Raw Lucario here, and welcome back to Marvel's Spider-Man. Today, I am going to be giving my opinion of every single suit in the game. Now, I should note that I'm not going to be factoring in suit powers. This is just based on a cosmetic look. I don't really want to factor in suit powers simply because there's no other suit power you should be using besides Web Blossom, so they would probably factor down a lot of suits. That and some suits don't come with suit powers anyway. Um, I normally do these suit rankings with other people, but I wanted to try and do this one on my own today, see how I do with it. So today we are going to be starting with the advanced suit. This is the suit you get right after the tutorial section of the game, I guess you would call it, and it's pretty nice. Um, Not my favorite, but nice. It's got a really odd tint to it in the red, I think. It's a little faded, and some points it almost looks orange, and I don't really care for that too much. If it were just a brighter, more vibrant red, I would like it a lot more than I do. Um, but I like how segmented it is with all the blue lines running through the red, breaking it up. You can definitely see some elements of Ben Reilly's Spider-Man costume in here, which is my favorite suit of all time. So hope we get that in Spider-Man 2. But ultimately, I think this suit probably ranks in at about a 6. And then number 2, we have the damage suit. This is just standard Spider-Man suit. Wish it was more damage though for what it is. I mean, it's a different shade of red and blue. It looks more dirty and it has a few cuts and scrapes in it, but there's no blood or anything. It doesn't even look like he actually got cut. It's more like his suit just got damaged as opposed to him also getting damaged. I would have liked something along the lines of like the Raimi suit when it gets damaged. Like Raimi really knew how to handle suit damage, and this is just a little disappointing. I'm gonna give it a 7 just because the overall suit design is good and also slightly better in my opinion than the classic suit repaired, but I would have probably given it an 8 or a 9 had it had more battle damage. And as you can see with this one, the reason why I say this one isn't as good just because once again the red, like this one is the vibrant, bright red that I would expect. This one's just not really doing it for me. It almost looks a little orange. So I'm gonna give this one a 6.5 because great suit design, but the red shade is a little weird to me. Next up, we get Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir. Now, this suit, they did a good job with it. I would have liked to have gotten the hat and trench coat. I think that would have been cool. Um, but I kind of understand why they didn't do that because it would have like had it struggle, but it definitely would have looked better with the hat and the trench coat. But like I said, they would have had to program the physics of the trench coat and the hat, and that would have just been really bad for them to do. But I'm gonna give this one I don't. It's not really worse than this one, but it's not really better than it either. I think 6.5 is good as well for it. Because, I mean, what it does well, but it's just, I guess it's just not personally my cup of tea, at least not without the hat and the trench coat. Now we got the Scarlet Spider suit. This is a bona fide classic, and Insomniac made little tweaks to it that really help give it more depth with the different lines of fabric and the different types of fabric, and I think that really helps just kind of give it a little bit more of a punch. Um, yeah, I mean, let's be real. This is probably one of the best alternative Spider-Man designs out there. I mean, this is probably going to get, I'd say an 8.5 for me. They knocked it out of the park, and the design itself is just really good. Now we move on to the Spider Armor Mark II. Now, a base game Spider Armor Mark 1 was not in here, which it went 2, 3, 4, and then they added one later. Uh, don't ask me why, but that we're going in the order of just how the game has them. So, Spider Armor Mark II, good suit. I like it. It's a very different looking suit. I like how the spider kind of goes throughout the entire body, and it doesn't do it in a really weird way, if that makes sense. And it has like this collar, and this suit is Peter apparently made when he lost his spider sense, so he made it bulletproof, and it really does give off like that shiny metal look I would expect from a bulletproof suit. My favorite part, ironically, I would say, is the eyes. I think most people probably don't like how they look, but I love it. It's so unique and different. I really enjoy it. I'm gonna give it an 8. I can't do better than the Scarlet Spider. I can't give it better than the Scarlet Spider, but I like it a lot, probably more than most people do. Then we'll move on to the Secret War suit. Not really the Secret War suit. That would be the symbiote suit. This is like the Secret Wars 2 or 3 suit. Um, but for what it is, it's fine. I like it from the front. Like from the front, it's a really great suit, but from the back, I don't like the spider. If it were just a bit thinner, I feel like it's too chunky. Like it doesn't. It takes up too much of his back, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna give this one a 7. It's not good. It's not bad. It's decent. Not terrible. Then the Stark suit, I'm giving this one an 8.5 as well, because for me this is out of all the classic suit designs that are in this game, which there are many, this is just the best one. Oh, I forgot about the Raimi suit though. Alright, I'm gonna give it an 8 because I did forget the Raimi suit was in here, but yeah, this is just still just so well done. And I love the little nods it takes from classic comics, like giving him the small spider symbol and the black lines throughout. I like that. I guess my only nitpick would be I wish that the web pattern was a bit more visible on the suit, but other than that, it's fantastic. So I'll give it an 8. Then the negative suit. This is not the negative suit from the comics. This is more so just Insomniac's take on it, and it's really, really well done. I like it a lot. It's essentially just this suit, the advanced suit, but just with a negative palette, and it looks really well done. They actually did change the eyes though, which is interesting. Um, so yeah, I'll give it a 7.5. I think I don't because I like it better than I like the advanced suit. But I don't think it's quite up there with some of the higher ones. Electrically insulated suit, excuse me. This kind of reminds me of the Spider-Man Unlimited suit, which, as not great as that show was, it had a really cool suit design. You can 100% tell, though, that this is a McFarlane through and through, or at least McFarlane inspired, because look at those eyes. Those are McFarlane eyes if I've ever seen them, and yeah, this is cool suit. The puffiness of it all is a little weird, but it makes sense because he made it to fight Electro. I'm gonna give it an I don't want to give it an 8, but I don't want to give it a 7 either. 7.5 even doesn't really feel right, but I guess 7.5 is probably the best way to express how I feel about it. It's a decent suit, pretty good. Spider-Punk, I gotta be real with you. I know that this is a fan favorite suit design. It's just not me. It's not a bad design. I'm just not a big fan of the punk look. That doesn't make it bad. It's just not really my thing. So I'm gonna give it a 6. Just because it's not really my thing. That does not, but if I actually liked how Punk look, I would probably give it like a 7 or an 8, but I don't like the look of Punk in general, so I can't really give Spider-Punk anything higher than that. Okay, the wrestler suit. Now this is taken from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, I believe. This is obviously the suit he wore in the ring before Uncle Ben bit the dust, and yeah, it's well done. I gotta be honest, I like it quite a bit for what it is. I mean, that being said, it's not it's not necessarily a very wearable suit. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's cool for what it is, but I'll give it a 6.5. Not that it's bad, but it's like how often am I gonna wear this? You know. Then Fear itself. Now I wanna select this and take it out because you can see here, I went ahead and put it at night because I knew for a couple of these suits night would need to be shown. Like this looks really cool at night. Like, night lighting, when it's glowing, it looks really, really sick. However, its daylighting, not too great. It's fine, but it's not great, really. It's just kind of okay. So I'm gonna give this one a 6 because it really does bog it down when you're wearing it in the day. A funny enough, little tidbit about this suit is that in the Fear Itself comic, this suit is only ever shown in like 9 panels of the entire event, and that's the only time he ever wore it. So it's just really funny to me that they would even bother with it. Big time. Now this suit's a little different because this suit actually looks pretty good during the day, as you can see here. Um, but I mean, at night. I mean, yeah, it's fantastic. Big time, probably one of the best alternate Spider-Man suits. I'm gonna give it an 8. This is a fan favorite suit, and I love the little padding detailing that they did. Although I have to say, I probably would give it a 9 if it were a more simplistic look, because I think the simplicity of the suit is what makes it so good. But I'm gonna give it an 8 because it's still a fantastic design. Now we move on to Spider Armor Mark III. I know Peter wore this in the comics. I don't remember when, to be honest. It's fine. I mean, it's, I don't know. I'll give it a 5.5. It's not quite a 5, but there's just so much weird about this. Like, I don't like the eyes. They almost feel like they're too high up on his mask. Like, I feel like they should be a bit lower, I guess. And, I don't know. I was never a fan of, like, the metal thong type of thing that a lot of costume designers will do. That's a big Batman problem sometimes. And two, the spine. That's another problem with a lot of armored suits that I just don't particularly care for. It's just not great. Um, Spider-Man 2099 Black, I mean, let's not even dance around it. It's a 10. Let's just not even. Best, in my opinion, best alternative suit design. Actually, second best. Ben Reilly's is my favorite, but this is just, let's not even dance around it. It's fantastic. It looks so good, and Insomniac did just great justice with it. I love it so much. You can't even with this suit. It's so great. Iron Spider suit. Now this one was kind of a bit of controversy at the time. Before it came out in the DLC, people were wanting the comic book version of the Iron Spider, not the MCU version, because this version, uh, in most people's opinions, including myself, is just worse. It's fine, but it's just worse than Iron Spider. So, like, if you had to pick one over the other, why would you pick this one over the comic book? Um, Still a bit of a bog down, I think, because of that. If this were a DLC suit, I would be all over it, but the fact that it's in the base game and the other one isn't, like, you can get it, but you have to spend money on a DLC, and you also have to earn the suit in the DLC. So, yeah, but let's just talk about the base design itself. The coloring, I think, is what throws this for me. Like, the blue is like this weird gunmetal gray, and then the red almost has that problem of looking orange again. And I think this is partially Insomniac's fault. Like, I mean, it didn't look, it was a little off color, I guess, in the MCU, but it wasn't this off color. Like, this is a little too much. Cool thing though about this suit, the eyes do glow at night, and that glow effect does look really good, along with some other glowing aspects of the suit. Does look pretty good, but I don't know. I'll give it a, excuse me, why am I doing that? I'll give it a 6.5. I think that's fair. Then the Velocity suit. This is an Insomniac created suit. They created it for this game, and I think there's a glow effect. Yeah, the spider on the back does glow. And honestly, there are two main problems with the suit for me. And they both stem in the head. Like, for one, I feel like, I don't know, he just almost looks bald in this. If that makes any sense. Like, I feel like if you're gonna do an armored Spider-Man, like, the helmet should be a little bit bigger than his actual head. And then to those eyes, I don't know what's going on there. This is a 6.5 for me. The suit is really great. The head is a little weird, and it just kind of bogs it down for me. All right, Spider Armor Mark IV, probably the best of the three main spider armors in the game. Well, actually, no. I'd say second best. I kind of Spider Armor Mark II. I have really good feelings about. This one, I think, has a glow effect to it. I forgot to turn down the sound effects. I apologize. Yeah, spider glows, eyes glow. It looks good. I like it. I'll give it a 8. I think an 8 is fair. It looks really, really good. I like it. It's nice. This is a really well done armored Spider-Man. Like, it looks really, really good. This one's a 3. Like, Spirit Spider's a cool idea, but there's just so much weird about it. I mean, for one, he's got like it's just so odd. Like he has bony fingers and toes, and a bone head, but then it looks like his body is muscular, even though it's very clearly the same thing. The and it has like this weird muscular look to it, and then two toes is just I hate that. I hate how defined his toes are. And then the third worst thing for me is that when you're in cutscenes and you're wearing this suit, for most suits, like say this one for example, you can see his jaw moving up and down. But with this one, you don't get that because they would have to program a mouth opening animation for it to look right, and so they didn't do that, and it just looks weird. I don't know. I don't like this suit. It's a 3 for me. Now we move on to Spider-Man 2099 White. Now, what's weird to me is that, at least at a lot of the time this game came out, I don't know how people feel about it now, but people actually seem to like this suit more than this suit. Now, I don't know if that's still the general opinion now, but if it is, I say to you, what are you smoking? Like, this is just... It's not bad, but I mean, better than this? I don't think so. This is like a 7.5. Like it's a good suit, don't get me wrong, but better than 2099 Black, better than the OG. Like you've got to be joking if you think this is better than that. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe that's a hot take, but I just don't. I never use this suit because if I want to use Spider-Man 2099, I go with this one. Now, here's another hot take. The vintage comic book suit, I don't like it. Well, okay. I like the idea of it, but in game, I just don't really care for how it looks in game because what I wish is that, like, in here, you see that there's a lot of black to it and only a little bit of blue, but what I find is that when you're wearing the suit in game, it's very much the opposite. It's, like, too blue. Way, way, way too blue. I wish that it had a, way more black to it. As a matter of fact, if you look at it from here, like if I turn the camera like this, there's no black in it at all. None whatsoever in the blue. I'm sorry I keep going to that menu. But yeah, I don't know. If it had a better balance of black like it does in here, I would easily give it an 8 or a 9, but just due to the amount of blue, it doesn't really look right. I have to give it a 7, I think. Last Stand, let's just 10. 10. I might be a little biased, but I mean, I guess objectively it's a 9, but I mean, come on, it's a 10. I did the same thing with the Spider-Man 2099. Both should probably be a 9, 9.5, but you gotta give them a 10. I mean, this is just, in my opinion, best alternate suit in the game. It's got such a cool look to it. Like, whoever designed this suit, I wish I knew the artist. I don't off the top of my head. But, I mean, dude, you knocked it out of the park, man. This is insane. Whoever did this, he or she, whoever did this, absolutely blasted it. And then the people at Insomniac just... I think it was right for them to not touch it. Like, they just ported it to the game, didn't add much, if any, like, of their own detail, and I think that was the right choice. It just... Beautiful, beautiful suit. Then we have this. The undies suit. Look, I get it. I get why this was added. It's a joke. I understand that. But, I mean, can I really give it anything higher than a 1? Like, can I really? I mean, it's not that they did a bad job with it, but I mean, come on, dude. Am I really expected to give it anything higher? Let's talk objectively. The only thing I have to say that I wish they hadn't done, I think his underwear are a little too low. I think they should be raised up a tiny bit. Um, I mean, but I mean, it's funny. I get it. One cool little detail is that at the beginning of the game, he says something along the lines of, "Man, I wish they'd, don't take a picture of my three chest hairs," when he has his shirt cut open. And if you actually zoom in on this suit in like photo mode, they actually went to the effort of putting on three chest hairs, which is really funny. But I mean, come on. Am I really expected to give it anything higher than a 1? Like, come on. All right, the homemade suit, also from Homecoming, in relation to this suit. This is good. I really like this homemade design. There's some homemade suits that have come out in the past that I can't really see myself wearing, if that makes sense. I think the biggest example of that is the wrestler's suit. But this looks really, really good. I don't like it in the concept of the movie, or context, excuse me, in the context of the movie. I don't really care for it, but I think on its own it's well designed. I give it a 7. Then this one, I'm going to give it a 5 because it's such a disappointment to me. The ESU suit. Now this one, I guess I could go over like what this suit you have to 100% the game for. This suit you have to collect all 50 backpacks for. This suit there's like 50 photo ops in the game and you have to take pictures of them. I would just look at a guide on YouTube for it. There's no need to go out and look for them yourself because it's really annoying. Because the suit itself is cool, okay, as a 5. But the fact that they couldn't just give us Peter Parker, like the fact that he just has this mask on, is really annoying. It really bothers me. I mean, look, I get it. I get logically why, Peter wouldn't go out in his, without his mask on. But I think logic goes out the window when you consider that Insomniac's official explanation for these suits is that in-universe, Peter is actually wearing these as costumes. He made all of these. So, like, he made the Spider-Man 2099 suit in-game, and he's choosing to wear these. So logic goes out the window when you realize he's made and wearing this. Like this is a costume for him. This is not like some sort of spirit possessing him like it is in the comics. No, this is a costume. So, like, logic goes out the window when you say that he can't wear his mask, in my opinion. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to give it a 5 because of that. Anti-Ox suit. I believe does this one glow? Yes, it does. This has a nice glow effect to it. Once again, very Todd McFarlane inspired with the eyes. This is very clearly our, symbiote suit for the game. Not that it's made of a symbiote, but it's meant to be like a stand-in for it until we actually get it next game. And like I understand why the symbiote suit isn't in the game because they want to like introduce it in their story, which I am all for. But this I'm gonna give an 8 because it's cool, like I like it, but you can't beat the symbiote suit, man. You can't. You can try, but you can't. And that is no, this is it. This suit you get for beating the Black Cat missions. Oh, this suit you get for beating this story. I should have said that. Excuse me. This suit you get for beating the Black Cat mission. This suit was actually worn in a Spider-Man Deadpool crossover comic. This is called the Dark Suit, apparently. And it looks really, really good. I like it. You'll actually notice if you look very closely at his fingers. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in, which I hate that you can't do it in the suit selection menu. He actually has, like, nails, like talons almost. And he also has, like, Black Widow symbols on his palms. I like those details a lot. It's a good suit. Not my favorite dark suit by any means, but it's good. I'll give it 7. This suit, the Resilient suit, I actually like the idea of it, but there's just problems with it. For one, the color of the blue is really weird. Two, the webs have these really weird color to them. And then, look at the eyes. Wait, did they... I mean, dude, the eyes were always small, but it almost feels like they were even smaller than when I last saw them. Did they make them smaller? Am I just... okay, I might be seeing things, but... yeah, way too small. I think they were trying to go for a Steve Ditko vibe with the eyes, but even Steve Ditko didn't draw them that small. I think a little too much. I'm gonna give this a 5. No, actually a 4. I'll give it a 4. Spider UK. Spider UK, I mean, it's Spider UK. Not good, not bad for me. What kind of kills Spider UK for me is, like, I like the Union Jack on the front, but I hate that he doesn't have a spider on the front. I don't like that. I hate that it's only on the back. But what I will say, though, I like how the white of the suit is meant to look like a web, and then the spider's hanging upside down from the web. Like, I really like that detail. That's cool. I don't know what that spider wrist gauntlet is either. That's a little strange. I do like the red patterning through the suit. I think they did a great job of implementing that. I'll give it a 7. It's good. I do have a little bit of issues with it, though. And then the final suit of the first DLC pack is the Scarlet Spider 2 suit. This is the one worn by Kane, I believe. And this is great. I mean, I love it. I'm going to give it a 9. I love the red. Like, it's a really nice red. And it has a really cool shine to it. Oh, I don't think I've actually seen this at night before. Wow, this looks really cool. The eyes have a really nice shine to them. Same with the black. It has a really nice look to it. So glad we got this suit in the game. I really should use it more than I do. Okay, then DLC Pack 2. Spider Armor Mark 1. This suit we were clamoring for. I'm glad we got it. I'm going to give this one an 8. So for those of you who don't know what this suit is, this was used in one episode of the comics, and then it was used at the very end of the Spider-Man 90s show, and both of them had very different things attached to them. I'm giving it an 8 and not a 9 just because I hate the way the back of the head looks. Like, I don't like that extra layer of armor that kind of goes down. Like, I think if you were going to armor that part, you should have armored the whole head and not just, like, kind of half of it, you know? Like, either only armor the front or armor the back and the front, you know what I mean? And then we move on to probably the second most requested suit in the game. The Iron Spider armor, not the Iron Spider suit. This is from the comics, and I think you can see what I mean, where, like, if you compare this suit to this suit, like, it's not bad, but it's objectively better. Like, you know, this is just objectively a better suit. And they did do some extra detailing here on the legs and stuff, adding some silver, which looks really nice. However, in between that spider, they added this little, like, arc reactor type of deal that I don't particularly care for in the day. It looks fine at night, but in the day it's a little weird. Oh, one cool thing, though, you'll notice that his arc reactors on his hands glow. That's a cool detail. I like that a lot. Now, this doesn't really way too much into it, but I should mention for the Iron Spider arms suit power, this one here. Normally, all the suits will have the same color arms of the red, the blue, and the gold from the movie, but if you actually use this suit power with this suit in particular, they actually match the all gold of the Iron Spider costume, whereas if I go in here and then switch to, I don't know, Last Stand, you'll see it's, like, oh, actually, I think it maintained the gold. No, it is different. Look, see, it's like red, blue, and gold. Whereas if you do it with this suit, it's just all gold to match the actual comic book color, which is a really nice detail. And actually, I think the shaping's a little different too. So, yeah, they didn't have to do that, but they did, and I really appreciate it. I think I'll give it a 9. It's a really, really well done suit. Really well done. And that little detail, I think, bumps it up from an 8.5 to me, because that, like, even though I said I wasn't factoring in suit powers, that's a cosmetic detail of the suit power that they didn't have to do, and that's a really cool thing. Well, apparently my Fortnite update's installed. Good to know. Alright, Spider Clan suit. This comes from a Spider-Man manga that I don't know the name of. Hopefully Editor Me will remember to put this on screen. This one's really cool. Cel-shaded, as you can see, so he pops at night. Really, really interesting. You know, I saw this I remember when they were announcing the second DLC pack, and I'm like, oh man, I'll hate the suit. The suit sucks. It's terrible. But actually playing with it, it's really cool. Actually, I like it quite a bit. It looks really, really good. I like it a lot, and you know, I'm gonna give it an 8 because I think they did a really, really good job with it. And this is the final pack of DLC Pack 2. Now we move on to DLC Pack 3 with the Aaron Eichmann armor. This comes from an alternate universe, obviously. And this one is interesting. Definitely a different looking suit. It's kind of got a mesh of metal and fabric to it, and you'll also notice his helmet has why are you looking around like that? He has like little like nubs on it. Those are meant to be like eyes, like Spider-Man eyes, because he's Spider-Man, I guess, and that's a cool thing. You'll also notice he doesn't have super strength, I believe. So in order to get the height, he has like these springs in his shoes so he can like do like Spider-Man's super jump, which is interesting. And I like this suit. I'm gonna give it a 7. It's solid. Very, very good. Very, very decent suit. Now we move on to Cyborg Spider-Man. The only nitpick I have to say is I kind of wish they did more of a Todd McFarlane thing, because this was a Todd McFarlane design. But they just used their classic suit, which is fine. Look, this is a gimmicky suit. This was made to sell action figures. Like, that's what it was made for. We all know that's what it was made for. But I like it. I don't know why. I like it. Like, I like the idea of pretending like it's like a post-apocalyptic Spider-Man and running around with the metal arm and stuff. It looks cool. I like it. Um, I'm gonna give it a 6. Cause I mean, I know it's not good, but I like it. So, now the final DLC pack suit is the Into the Spider-Verse suit. Now, like the suit. Now, this is obviously based off of Peter Parker from the start of the movie, not Peter B. Parker. I think it would have been cool if we had gotten Peter B. Parker, because even though the suit does look better, I guess, Peter B. Parker with, like, the sweatpants and stuff is just... It's more unique of a suit. You know, like, it's more distinguishable. Like, I look at that and I'm like, oh, that's the Spider-Verse suit. This I have to kind of, like, look at it for a second. I'm also... I don't want to let it knock it down, but in Spider-Man Miles Morales, they also did the Into the Spider-Verse suit, and they actually did the thing where you can get, like, the frame rate from the movie of having, like, that every other frame type of look to it, and it just looks so much cooler. I mean, I really shouldn't let it affect my opinion of this suit, because this did come out before that, but it's hard not to. It's really hard not to. I'm gonna give it a 7. I can't, no, 6.5, 6.5. I can't give it a 6, I can't give it a 7. I gotta give it a 6.5. That's where I gotta put it. It looks good, but I think Miles Morales just kind of knocks it down for me. And that's not really fair, but it does. I can't help how I feel about it. Then we have the suit. This is, they call it the web suit, but we all know what this is. This is the Sam Raimi suit. Spider-Man 2. I mean, this was the most requested suit in the game.
Unit, please respond.
Oh, it actually looks pretty cool at night. I mean, this is my childhood right here. I can't give it... dude, there are suits in here that are objectively better, but I have to give it a 10. And that's entirely nostalgia speaking. If I were speaking entirely objectively, I would give it a 9, but I have to give it a 10 because it deserves it. This is the suit of my generation, and it just, it means so much to me that they actually got the suit in the game, and just seeing this suit just kind of fills me with nostalgia. And I mean, the only nitpick I would give the suit is that the waistband is a little too high, but I mean, other than that, it's perfect. I mean, also, I guess logically, it doesn't make much sense how a kid who was extraordinarily poor was able to knit the suit together with the metal. But I don't care, it looks good, okay? It's good. I like it. No, I don't just like it, I love it. fantastic. Now, I should mention these the rest of these suits were all added in free updates, and you will have all of them from the start of the game. Now, you'll notice too, it also has told you on the right side what suit power it has with it. All DLC suits, whether purchasable or just update, do not have any associated suit power with them. Also, another reason I didn't want to factor in suit powers because there are quite a few suits in the game that don't have them. Alright, Bombastic Bagman. So they did change this suit up a bit. Fantastic Four suit. I guess this does confirm the existence of the Fantastic Four in this universe, right? It has to. They did change up a couple things. Number one, he's not barefoot anymore, and he also has gloves on, which didn't really make sense to me to begin with the suit. Because they were made of, like, unstable particles. I would think his powers would work through the suit anyway. He doesn't have the kick me sign, and also he drew, like, the Spider-Man eye shape around the eye of the mask. I gotta be honest, I don't know why this suit has so much traction. I mean, yeah, it looks funny, and it's a funny moment from comic history, but it was literally in one issue. And, like, that's it. I don't know why this became such a cult classic suit. I mean, objectively, it's not a good design. It wasn't meant to be a good design. It was meant to be stupid. So, I mean, I'll give it a 6. I mean, I don't know what I'm meant to give it here. I mean, it's not really a great suit. It's not meant to be, but it's, you know, a little weird. Then Future Foundation. Now, yeah, the eyes are what really... this is a better way to look at it. Look at how, like, they pop off. Like, they're really weird looking, and they also look like they're made of metal. Like, I don't know what he sees out of them. And that's not a fault of this suit. This is Insomniac's doing. They chose to do that. I don't know why. I'm gonna give it a 7, honestly, because the eyes are just so weird, and two, it's not true to the actual suit design. Like, the actual suit design just has, like, black lenses, and you know, I don't know why they didn't just do that. It would have been easier for them to do, as a matter of fact. I don't know why they didn't do that. Alright, these are the last 5 suits in the game. Or, well, the PS4 version. I'll talk about the other 2 suits in a minute. Upgraded suit. This is... I like this suit a lot. I'm gonna give it a 9. I know not everybody cares for this suit, but this suit... people don't realize, because this thing is, people are complaining that the MCU doesn't do comic accurate suits or whatever, and, you know, that's fine, you can think that. Some of their suits are not comic accurate, I'll give you that, but this is more comic accurate than anybody realizes. This is meant to be Steve Ditko's Spider-Man. It has the small spider logo on the back, or on the front, excuse me. It has the black, and not in here, but in the movie, it has the underarm webs. It's basically just a modernized version of Spider-Man's first ever suit, which I think is really, really cool, so I'm going to give it a 9. This suit, however, I am going to give a 2. This is bad. I don't like it. It looks like they were trying to do Spider-Man Noir, but it just looks weird. I think what kills it for me is the fact that the eye lenses, I hate that they're like just over his face like a mask. Like, that just looks weird. That's just odd. Like, come on, bro. Don't do that to me. Then, the suit that disappointed most people, TASM 1 suit. I think most people wanted the TASM 2. But honestly, I wanted this one over TASM 2. Because TASM 2 is probably the most comic accurate Spider-Man suit we've gotten, and I like it. This suit, however, is more unique. And I like it. Like, if it were a bad unique, I would say, yeah, TASM 2. But it's a good unique. I like the golden eyes, and I like the pattern that they did with the red. It looks really good. And the spider, so cool. I love the spider. I'm going to give this one an 8. It's a solid suit. Solid suit. I don't know what this is. I don't know what on the world this is. I don't even know how to rate this because I don't know how I feel about it. It's a weird suit. But I don't, it's not really weird in a bad way. It's just, I think what's weird about this is I believe that this is an Insomniac made suit. Like, this isn't an actual comic thing. but it's cell shaded. Like, see, why is it cell shaded? I guess is the thing that makes this really weird. Is why is it cell shaded? Because it's not based on anything from the comics, so why is it cell shaded? I mean, it looks really cool. It's really weird. I think I haven't used it since the update came out. It's very weird. But I can't say it's bad, because it's not. I don't want to give it a 5, because I feel like it deserves more than that, but at the same time, I also feel like it deserves less. I really don't know how to feel about the suit. I'm going to give it a 6. I feel solid at a 6. 6 is good. This is the final suit they've ever added. Or no, it's not. Final suit they added to the PS4 version. This is the Armored Advanced suit. So obviously meant to be an armored version of this suit here. Now I like and don't like the suit at the same time. Because it almost feels like this suit, right, should have been like the next evolution of Spider-Man suit, because it's the armored version of the advanced suit, right? So my question then is, why would he go to a more fabric-looking suit, basically the advanced suit but just more red, in Miles Morales in Spider-Man 2?
Backup requested for a chase.
Like, why would he evolve the suit and then devolve it back? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that. Like, I feel like this should be the main suit of Spider-Man 2, if that were the case. I don't know why it's not. In all honesty, though, I'm going to give it a 7, because it's a good design. I like it. It's definitely interesting and unique. It's just peculiar. It's just odd. And as of right now, that is every single suit in Spider-Man PS4. Now, if you're playing the PS5 version, there are 2 more suits, and they're just the suits from No Way Home. So it's the black, red, and gold suit, and the black and gold suit, which were made to sell action figures. Both of them look decent. They're fine. I think I can give them both a 7. They're fine. They look good in game, but I mean, they're nothing is different about them. They're exactly what you would expect. But yeah, I think that we're about done here. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you have any other games that you can think of that have suits like this that you would like me to rank, at least on PS4, that's because that's what I'm working with here, do let me know. And, if you like this sort of video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Peace.